I pondered for days on end, thinking and thinking on what I could do to express a topic I truly believed in to all of you today. I pursued to carry on by finding inspiration through asking others to help me build a base for what I could possibly discuss. But, to my own prevail, I felt like I was going nowhere. And then it hit me. The very reason I was able to build up my own perspective started when I asked others on their own perceptions. Talking to someone new for a mere 5 to 10 minutes every day on a common interest that we both shared seemed far more beneficial and productive, rather than locking myself alone in a room by myself, leaving myself to my own thoughts for several hours. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I believe our present society has built itself up to be. Several isolated islands, distant from one another, locked up in their own rooms. We still wonder why to this day, we as a society face several major global issues and doubt the possibility of their eradication. How that in a world where all of us have the free power to contribute and overcome these instances, still feel so overwhelmed by them. Though that it is quick for one to think that it may be due to differing ideologies, it is quite simply and truthfully the lack of motivation and unity within us all. The rapid change occurring throughout the world has achieved a newfound speed, and it covers all spheres of life, whether it be politics, demographics, livelihoods, communications, climate, technology, and the list just keeps going on and on and on. Yes, I do understand that it may be quite confusing and intimidating at first, but understand that taking a step hand in hand will allow us to fight these changes. What I'd like to do today is introduce a staircase in which we can all start to climb together. Firstly, we must start with the youth. One of us today, any one of us, can form a global learning community wherein members, children, can interact with one another through the form of video content and learn from speakers. Not only this, children will have the access to learn differing backgrounds and differing socioeconomic conditions. And while we base this community, we can generate learning models for children at the grassroots of society. And while global in nature, the platform can also be customized and translated to suit local needs. And as well as this, we can also fight the issue together. This is just an idea, but taking the first steps towards unity must start with our youth. How that step is taken always stems from an idea. Having emphasis on the youth will only then allow us to shape our future to where it should be. Hence, it is imperative that education should be a key element of any national or global paradigm or framework. However, we can only allow education to see its true potential if it is deemed as equitable. Allowing fair access to education will allow us to gain true results for our society. Imagine the average cost for a student to study in Senegal for an entire year is $30, equivalent to 100 UAE dirhams. The 100 dirhams that we would usually spend on coffee for a week. 100 dirhams. Now, I'm not trying to make any of you feel bad, but all I encourage you to do is to rethink. Although coffee is an absolute necessity for our survival, I'm pretty sure it outweighs sending a child for an entire year of schooling than a few lattes. We can make a difference if we begin with our youth. Not only will enabling children to education connect minds, but we can also start to create them. Wouldn't you believe that enabling every single child to these simple needs is what we can do to progress towards the future? Secondly, we must trust in technology and knowledge. Technology has the ability to transform and empower our lives. However, it is crucial that we understand the wise words of Spider-Man's Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. Technology is an immense power that we yield, and we must trust in it. However, we must also harness it in a responsible manner. Too often, technologies are either not developed at all, or if developed, do not suit customer needs. Hence, it is crucial for our societies and policymakers to adapt and keep pace with the technological advances in a more agile manner. New technologies, such as AI, has the ability to manufacture and solve problems beyond human capability. IoT and big data can help solve common problems within firms, and not only this, provide real-time streams of information. Even the technology of 3D printing allows faster, cheaper, and lower volume production of complex products. Wouldn't you believe that implementing these technologies would allow us to bring together the technological gap? We are starting to see a change being made through technology and sharing means with one another. For example, in India, the Hand in Hand Partnership is an organization that provides mobile devices to Indian women to start their own tech-driven businesses, and not only this, help solve technical issues within their communities. The e-Ghana project in West Africa enabled West Africans to have their own electronic tax application. While this is a benefit in its own, the e-Ghana project has created innumerable number of job opportunities. Since 2006, the e-Ghana project has created over 10,000 job opportunities. This has only stemmed through world leaders discussing and creating ideas together. As well as this, technology has the ability to change the way we think. Without technology, we as a society will not be able to shape our future to where we want it to be. Sharing knowledge and means with one another can help us solve the common problem. We can start changing if we change our technology. Technology is important for all of us. We can start bridging the technological gap and finally and hopefully defeat the classifications of second world and third world countries. Thirdly, we must strive towards a sustainable living. In 2015, world leaders agreed to 17 goals for a better world by 2030. These goals include the previously mentioned issues, such as the end to poverty, the rise in the quality of education, and the fight against inequality. Though they may seem idealistic, we are now in the new decade and are beginning to see change being made in pursuit of accomplishing these goals. For example, the fight against climate change. Climate change is one of the defining factors of the 21st century and shows how unity is required for us to mitigate such an issue. In the major climate change protests held on the 19th of September of last year, we saw exactly this. People coming together to fight an issue that we all faced. In the estimated 185 countries where demonstrations took place, each country usually had their individual target, whether it be rising sea levels in the Solomon Islands to air and plastic pollution in India. However, the overall message was unified: the stability of our climate. On that day, we saw millions fighting across the globe to prevent this issue. Not only did awareness raise to the tenfold because of these protests, we finally got to see politicians and people of power fight towards what is right. For example, in Germany, the country's government announced a 54 billion euro package aimed at cutting greenhouse gas emissions. Even in the UAE, the country are looking at making their electricity electricity to be generated through nuclear and solar energy to 30% by 2030. Change is being made. And we already can see evidence through this. World leaders coming together can help solve issues. For example, the number of deaths of children under 5 years of age fell from 12.7 million in 1990 to 6.3 million in 2013. In 2012, 90% of our population have an improved source of drinking water. Hence, and I just want to say this. Hence, collective action is required to help solve the problem of climate change and achieve the 16 other global goals. So today, what I want to encourage you all to do is to start a discussion. I see a beautifully diverse range of people amongst me, and not only that, I believe that one of you may or may not have common views in life. What I encourage you all to do is to talk to somebody who you believe has completely opposing views in life. And not only this, really try your best to understand what they're trying to say. Make a genuine attempt in trying your best to build a common ground with them. And even if you don't agree, so be it. At least a discussion was made. We as a society and mankind will only take steps forward if we do it together. We must believe that there is more in life other than just living in our own world. I, as a teenager, believed that the only way I progress towards adulthood would be locking myself alone in a room by myself and just leaving myself to my own thoughts and keep completely disregarding our societies. However, it came to my immediate attention that the only way we progress towards the future is if we connected our minds. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to believe how important this is. Without a sustained society, we will never be able to attain a sustainable living. Hence, I want to leave you with a message. Ladies and gentlemen, we must believe in the bigger picture. We must leave our rooms, our isolated islands, and collectively make a difference. My name is Baraj Kohli, and you may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Thank you very much, guys.